if you can get locked down, if Heste can play aggressive, which we know he likes to play super aggressive as well. If you can combo that, you know, the Thresh hook into the light binding as well, that's definitely a combo that they can look to try and get early kills in the lane.
A lot of pick potential from this team. Game Lord going back to a style that we kind of were expecting from them in a way, based on how the first series had gone, but also I think that they're making adaptations. They're making some of those changes that we were hoping they would. But the bigger changes is, of course, the macro, the decision making. Playing a little more patient. I know Flash Wolves is a scary team to take into the late game because that's where they're comfortable too, right? They're known for being this big elder fight, we win the fight, we end the game kind of team. But if you're Game Lords, that doesn't mean that you throw yourself at every dragon, every herald. Play a little more tempered, right? Play patient.
For sure. I mean, for Game Lord as well, you know, I think coming into the first series against Flash Wolves before, they were trying out some new things. They were trying to, you know, limit test, I guess you can say, a little bit. But now, you know, against Furious Gaming, I feel like they're definitely a lot more comfortable now on the stage. They're definitely growing. They're definitely adapting as well, which is something that Game Lord didn't really do too well in the WREC finals, was adapting to the meta and adapting to the sort of play style of what you need.
They're going to need to adapt in this best of 3 because the loser goes home. Winner continues on to the group stage of Icons, the rematch for Flash Wolves versus Game Lord. Onto the Rift already, and we see Lonely Kid opted to assist the push in the mid lane, get some of that extra XP. Should be ahead in XP over Ysera now.
We've seen this from Redemption a little bit as well, especially in the series against Furious Gaming. He likes to get that mid pressure, likes to push out the mid lane so he can try and look to rotate. But there's the hook!
Really good hook and binding. First blood to Game Lord Jash. Heste setting it up, and now Bruce is in trouble too. Will most likely need a flash here. Expends the exhaust. Another life on lands. There's the Coley to get it. Game Lord with 2 kills in the bot lane.
Beautiful play. That was the combo that I was talking about. Heste with the hook, Lux with the binding as well, and Eason just didn't respect it. He was underneath the tower. He was playing over aggressive, trying to poke with his barrel, but then Heste was like, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to land my hook, land the flay as well, and then after that, it's just a lot like binding afterwards, and that's a huge advantage. How did that go past the minion? Okay, can we get a hitbox?
Well, see, Gragas has quite a large gut hitbox.
Going in.
As now they go also for Baya, the play back. He flashes, exhausted down. Heste with another auto should be able to get this. And it's Ruiz that picks it up. More kills to Game Lord, and Bruce even here with the back of a cookie. The double stun from the counter-strike. Ruiz is traded.
Traded in the end, but Heste with these hooks right now, the final spark comes in, doesn't get the kill, unfortunately, but a little more aggressive. This is the aggressive Game Lord, you know, Heste roaming around. We spoke a little bit, you know, about I think the support matchup with roaming potential, which Eason couldn't really do before on the Yumi. He played Yumi twice as well for the Rift Herald. And this is something that Flash Wolves have done before. Flash Wolves have definitely traded the Rift Herald a lot more towards the, instead of the Dragon.
Yeah, Flash Wolves love this Herald. They got one of the highest Herald take percentages, and they actually get it before Game Lord get the Dragon. I was worried for Ruiz showing on that wave, thinking maybe they just forego the Herald, go for the dive instead, but no, it's just a trade of objectives.
Now it's all down to Reese to try and defend it. He uses the package defensively. I really like this. The package will be able to deal damage to minion waves, but there's no one else up here though. They're just trying to trade in terms of towers, but Flash Wolves are the one who get the first tower of the game.
They're so quick at these kinds of decisions. Flash Wolves love going for that first tower gold, and a lot of times it is through that Herald. So they're in their comfort zone. It's back to an even game state.
This is kind of what you expect from the Rift Herald when teams want to go for the Rift Herald early on. They're trying to get that early advantage. They're trying to get the first tower at the same time, and then also Camille on the top side also scaling.
And now we see Baya actually in the lane against Lonely Kid. Heste going forward with the death sentence. Snipe, flay back under the turret. He's stunned up, but he's surviving. Not for long enough as Heste backs up Lonely Kid for the kill.
We talked about Heste in his set in draft, and now it's Heste on the Thresh. He's done the same as well against Furious Gaming. He's rotating around the map. Ruiz is in the bot side with that whole breaker, and Flash Wolves can't get anything for it. So that's basically a free kill over to Game Lords.
Nicely done. It gets them a pick. That's putting down the TF even more. But the TF isn't the late game scaler that they need to be terrified about. We see Camille, we see Jax still pushing a wave in, still getting some XP and gold down there. So it feels nice, but TF's back on the map. So we're basically back to the same game state. And I want to bring something up here, Stuart, because I had actually asked Lonely Kid in the interview,
Still on the
after
bot
they
side, he's
won
gonna
their
start
lap.
pushing as well. I feel like this game is all about the mid pressure. There's a lot of ARAM happening in this game right now in terms of, you know, the mid pressure, trying to get the mid priority at the same time.
But now that we're into this state of the game where both teams are starting to group up, there is actually an interesting combo as Game Lord are going for the Herald and Flash Wolves are just backing off. They're going to trade the Herald, take the guaranteed turret instead. But there's an interesting interaction. I was talking with Riku about this, actually. She said the SEA teams, they actually like to do this thing with Senna TF, where you make the TF invisible, and then he runs in with the gold card and gets a pick on somebody. We're kind of approaching that territory, so I'm going to be keeping my eye. Jerks. They'll just like, you'll start the objective, and they'll just walk at you and be like, you won't, and then force you up, and then just leave. It's like, all right, well, we accomplished our goal. We're going to keep scaling with the Senna, but now we have the fight with the package coming in from Ruiz. The final spark on a 2. Game Lord are finally finding the fight that they've been waiting for. But the flank from Ysera, does he have any backup? Hextech Ultimatum in, flashes to safety. Nobody dies except for Isan.
And we talked about the vision control, what happened in the last time these two played. It's actually Game Lord the one that had the vision control in the river right now. Heste with the hook again, Ruiz with the package on top of that as well, catching out 2 members of Flash Wolves, and they're going to be, like you said, you know, the scaling comp of Flash Wolves, something that we know Flash Wolves are really, really good at.
He's just throwing these out. Sorry, I just got you off there. Literally, it's on cooldown right now. It's finally a pick found by Flash Wolves. They're on to Game Lords right now. Redemption just barely gets out. But can Redemption follow as well? Okay, he's down. That's a pick for Flash Wolves. Death Sentence in, though. That's on the buyout. The TF is out of the fight. Watch for the fight from Ysera. Camille's looking for it, but these hooks just keep landing from Heste. Oh, Flash Wolves, they thought they had that in the bag.
It was originally Ruiz that got caught out in the river all by himself, and all the Flash Wolves just dove on top of him. Then Redemption tried to save him. Actually saved Ruiz in the end, but died himself. But the hook and then
we're on vision.
Stun
if we force Flash Wolves in,
Josh's split.
We can try and take the fight. Jash on the side needs to be careful. Camille going for the engage. Ysera onto Heste. All alone right now, but the rest of Game Lords now backing up their support. Everyone from Flash Wolves are behind the Dragon Pit, and they are taking this fight, and they are loving it. Flash Wolves going forward onto Game Lord side of the rift, chasing them down to make it 4 kills for 0.
And it was all about, I called it, you know, Jash is on the side, on the mid lane, and as soon as Jash is in that mid lane, Flash Wolves know this is our time to go in. Ysera goes in, Hooker goes in, and it honestly could be the game.
They have a wave. They have cannon minions right now with all 5 members of Flash Wolves over so fast. Flash Wolves take game 1.
And that's all it takes. One little mistake. We talked about Game Lord in the mid and